It's about Mr. Cao, the first Vietnamese elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Joseph is a husband, father, and man of deep and abiding religious faith, and currently serves the people of Louisiana's 2nd District. Mr. Cao is far too modest and humble to say it, but he is the quintessential example of a refugee success story. Joseph Cao's father, a lieutenant in the Army of the Republic of Vietnam, was captured by the North Vietnamese at the end of the war and was incarcerated for 7 terrible years in a re-education camp. In 1975, at the age of 8, Joseph escaped Vietnam with 2 of his siblings. His mom and jailed father remained. Joseph Cao worked hard in his new adopted homeland. Smart, resourceful, devout, and generous to a fault, Joseph earned his bachelor's degree at Baylor, his master's from Fordham University, and his J.D. from Loyola Law School. Never forgetting the plight of refugees and wanting to make a difference in the lives of the disenfranchised, Joseph became an immigration lawyer. He worked tirelessly to aid refugees and to assist in unifying families. He served as a member of the board of directors of Boat People, SOS, and he is now a member of the United States Congress. Joseph Cao is an inspiration to all who escape tyranny and come to America. With persistence and hard work and faith, Joseph inspires a new generation of refugees, and really everyone else as well, that you can achieve and do wonderful things if you put your mind to it and you persist. His resolution highlights the extraordinary work and the contributions made by Vietnamese Americans and the work of groups like Boat People SOS and the work of people like Dr. Tong, who have welcomed Vietnamese asylum seekers fleeing re-education camps, harassment, religious persecution, labor violations, and other human rights abuses. Over 2 million boat people and other refugees from Vietnam have received asylum in the United States and around the world. Half of those individuals have made their home in the U.S. Vietnamese Americans have made a significant contribution to our country, bringing their rich heritage and culture and endeavor to make the United States their permanent home. The sad thing, Mr. Speaker, is that Vietnam itself continues to repress, and the human rights record of that country remains deplorable. In fact, ethnic religious minority groups such as the Montagnard in the Central Highlands and the Khmer Krom Buddhists continue to face immense persecution. As for additional 30 seconds.
Additional 30 seconds.
The gentleman is recognized for additional 30 seconds.
And my friend for yielding. And the Khmer Krom Buddhists continue to face intense persecution, beatings, and even death. I would hope that in light of Mr. Cao's resolution, we in this Congress would re-examine and redouble our efforts to promote freedom and democracy in Vietnam and to remove hindrances for the Vietnamese people seeking asylum in the U.S. and elsewhere around the world. Again, I congratulate my good friend and colleague, and again, his story is a success story that needs to be held up in neon lights. Joseph Cao, congratulations.
Time has expired. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Mr. Speaker, we continue to reserve.
Gentleman from Georgia.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank my colleague, Mr. Cao, for introducing this piece of legislation, and I urge all my fellow members to support the passage of H.Res. 342. And with that, I'll yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Mr. Speaker, in closing, I want to congratulate Mr. Cao on his leadership in sponsoring this resolution. I want to thank the gentleman from Georgia for his leadership as well, and I yield back the balance of our time.
Gentleman yields back. All time has expired. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and agree to House Resolution 342? Those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the Chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended and the resolution is agreed to. And without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. For what purpose does the gentleman from Kansas rise?
Mr. Speaker, I move the House suspend the rules and agree to the resolution H.R. 357.
The clerk will report the title of the resolution.
House Resolution 357, resolution supporting the goals and ideals of Financial Literacy Month 2009 and for other purposes.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Kansas, Mr. Moore, and the gentlewoman from